Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Jacob Restituto. I'm a musician from Northport, New York, and today we're going to be reacting to and breaking down Champion, Bethel Music, and Dante Bowe. Look, I'm a huge fan of this. I probably listened to this song 10,000 times in the past year. So now, on top of that, I'm even more pumped that Dante's coming on the channel for an interview. Stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. It's depending on when you watch this. If you're watching this when I post it, he's coming on tomorrow. If you're watching this after tomorrow, then the interview will be live on the channel. But I'm really, really looking forward to that. And that being said, I figured, you know what, if you're not familiar with him and his music, why not start to show you guys a little bit earlier, like before we have the interview, kind of familiarize yourself with him in his unbelievable voice. So if you're new to this channel, welcome to the channel. My name's Jacob Restituto. I like to break down and talk about the different music, the different production, what's going on in the song. So I'm really looking forward to doing this. I haven't done this with a worship song yet, though, so it's gonna be interesting because I feel like it has a different dynamic than just like talking about straight music. But you know, let's go for it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we got. So this is Bethel Music, which I'm also a huge fan of. They have very unique guitar tones in their music, man, for sure. Look at that sick Moog synth we got right off the bat, man. One of the things, I'm gonna have to pause a lot because I like to comment on music and what we talk about. One of the things I always found interesting about live footage is sometimes you see the artist playing something and they are playing something, but because there's a front of house guy mixing the whole thing, what they're playing might not be coming through the speakers, which is always very interesting because you don't hear this hi-hat going, right? You also don't hear those cymbals. Sweet ping pong delay. Never noticed those dirty guitars in the right here.
Took me so long to believe it, that you choose someone like me.
Dude, the coloring in this is sick. I also love the sway that it has, this 6/8 kind of 3/4, the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 kind of swing on the guitar. He's singing pretty steady. He doesn't have a huge swing to it, but the guitar behind it has this kind of galloping kind of feel to it.
Perfection could never.
And his rasp is amazing.
We don't deserve it. You take the broken things and raise them to glory. You are my.
Dude, how that bass comes in and smacks so hard is so good. Let's rewind that just a little bit.
You are my champion. Giants fall when you stand undefeated. Every battle you've won.
Here's a really good example of an acoustic being used as a rhythm instrument as opposed to a melodic instrument. So we have the acoustic guitar really doing eighth notes, pretty much just really steady, highly compressed eighth notes in the background. And that's the most apparent rhythm that we have throughout this section, this strumming down and up. We also have like the drums and stuff. The guitar is kind of doing a bit more like ethereal style, big reverb, luscious, huge sounds. Definitely using Strymon, big skies and stuff. But the acoustic right now is the biggest element of rhythm that we have.
I am who you say I am. You crown me with confidence. I am seated in the heavenly place, undefeated, with the one who has conquered it all.
There you go, that's cool. You hear the acoustic now kind of battling not battling, but battling in a good way, the hi-hat and the left ear. They have very similar frequencies and timbres in here. And I gotta say, I want to reference what I said at the very beginning where I was like, it's gonna be interesting because I haven't done worship music here on the channel and broken it down. The reason I said that is actually because I don't typically critique like this. I'm not critiquing but break it down necessarily. I'm more of just enjoy it and kind of get involved in the music than I do as opposed to not. So it's just funny. It's interesting to kind of listen to this now with the producer's kind of ear. It's a different experience is what I was trying to say. guitar work is so good, man.
how to receive it. So let all the striving cease. Oh, this is my victory. You are my champion. Triumphs for when you stand undefeated. Every battle you won.
You hear the really anthemic style singing going on between all of the vocalists that they have. They have them really mixed low in the mix, and it creates this kind of choir-like singing. But they also definitely have some sort of room microphones, where room microphones, or crowd mics, which you would call them, is these stereo because there's multiple. Stereo microphones could be more than two, but I say stereo because it's panned left and right in the crowd, so you can actually hear the crowd singing.
I am who you say I am. You crown me with confidence. I am seated in the heavenly place, undefeated.
That's a sick shot.
The one who has conquered it all, it all, it all, it all, it all.
Still has a 6/8 feel. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'd probably say 3/4 instead of 6/8. Actually, it doesn't have the swing. Not necessarily 6/8.
When I lift my voice and shout, every wall comes crashing down. I have the authority Jesus has given me.
One of the things I found in like really, really, really high level production, worship music as compared to like earlier stages of production, is this fullness that these artists like Bethel or Elevation or Hillsong have compared to smaller churches that don't necessarily have the budget for, like, the budget for these churches is amazing. It's massive, which I think is amazing. But I'll listen to this compared to like a newer church, smaller church, and you'll notice that there's this distinct thinness in the mix. There's something about the fullness of sound, the depth of sound, the bass of the sound. It comes through in a different way compared to some earlier. I don't know if it's the studios they're recording and how their recording process, but the bass definitely comes through a lot more. They're not afraid to use bass in a lot of these, and I think it creates this exceptional depth to the song and emotion to the song, because bass is a really emotive instrument. It really evokes a lot of emotion.
When I open up my mouth, miracles start breaking out. I have the authority.
Guitar work is so good.
Has given me.
See, like another, like, you don't hear the cellos playing right there.
When I lift my voice and shout, every wall comes crashing down. I have the authority. Yes, I do. Jesus has given me.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of churches are like this, man. This is modern church. Like, it's fun, man. It's like a concert. It's cool, as opposed to like some of the stuff, the more traditional stuff that people are assume church might be. Can you hear that distinct low? It's really low in the mix, that harmony. And I was going to say throughout the whole thing, actually, I kind of wish I heard a little bit more harmonies throughout it. Like, it lends itself to leaning towards more harmonies, and you don't hear a ton of them. And I'd love to hear more of them. See that harmony right there in the center of the mix? Oh, who is that? Was that Paul McClure? McClure? How do you pronounce his last name? Is that Callie? How do you pronounce her last name too? Is it Hygenthal? Hygenthal? Callie? I love the fast movements on the cameras. Bass is moving a lot, man. Huge snare. Listen to that snare. And the full stereo reverb going on.
I know who I am, 'cause I know whose I am. Hallelujah.
Nice. Yeah, it's a hot mic to be able to pick it up all the way down there, man. That's pretty fascinating.
There's nothing left to prove. There's nothing left to
Well
prove.
mixed.
He really gave it to
Building up. Dude, there's nothing like the guitar work in this style genre. So I would say Christian music definitely has its own genre. Like, they definitely have their own style of recording, their own style of playing. Like, the guitars are very, very, like, have this distinct sound, this very distinct reverb, kind of dirty, kind of higher frequency dirt. It's not like a super overdriven sound. It's more, I would say, more like this almost like bit crushed kind of like bright distortion going on, as opposed to like a really like dark, warm distortion, which is interesting. More overdrive. Maybe it's like distortion versus overdrive kind of. But who knows? I'm just some guy on YouTube that makes music. But they hit so hard, man. They hit so hard. See how they're kind of like driving a bit more the one, like it's more of the downbeat on the 1 2 3 and then 6 8 right here. So listen right here. Listen to the guitar. 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 2 3 1 2 3. Stereo electric guitars. Dude, I love how into it he's getting. That riff was wild. Let's see that again. It's going crazy, man. I love it. Crowd mics. Maybe part of the reason that you don't totally hear all the instruments. This is actually pretty interesting now that I think about it. I was going to comment on the fact that like this style of music has a lot of instruments going on. There's a lot of synthesizers, a lot of piano, probably several guitars, acoustic guitars, many vocalists, drums, strings. And maybe the reason like it sounds so full is because they're all mixed in so lightly. And I think I've heard recently in an interview with a producer that they said the hardest thing that an artist tries to do, actually no, I was talking to a producer friend of mine. He said that what most the biggest mistake that early producers make is they want everything to be heard. And they want the guitar to be heard, they want the strings to be heard, they want the piano to be heard, they want all these things to be heard, and it's too much information for the listener. And he said that's why in great hits you'll go back and listen to them 1,000 times and be like, oh my gosh, I never heard that guitar riff before, that's the coolest thing ever. And it's part of that layering process, and I feel like now that I'm thinking of it, that might be part of why that happens here.
giants fall. Every battle you won, I am.
The nice part about 6/8 or 3/4, depending on how you want to count it, it still has that galloping drive, even in the slow parts. You can still feel it. Ready?
Every battle
Ready?
you won, I am.
2, 3,
I am who
2,
you
3, 2, 3, 2,
You crown
3.
You crown me
Really nice Larry in the choir vocals.
in the heavenly place. By the power, come on. By the power of your name, I am seen in heaven, in the undefeated.
See, really low in the mix. You hear that
one who
hi-hat?
conquered it all.
Dude, killer song, man. Such a good song. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, definitely check out the rest of the stuff I have on the channel. More to come from Dante, and definitely consider checking out the interview that I have coming on tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. God bless and peace out.